Pa, does he? Ash drummed his fingers on the table, then looked Russell coldly in the eye. So, he must be doing well for himself. His family has oil, Kitty started, but Russell interrupted her. That's right, sir. He's doing all right for himself. And what about you? Ash's tone was sharp. I reckon I'm doing all right too, sir. Oh, Russell, Kitty laughed. Don't be so modest. Why, his family owns the biggest and the best colored mortuary. Catherine. Russell wore a serious expression as he addressed her. Why don't we talk about something else, like Mr. Ash here? Why can't we talk about you? Ash said with an edge of intimidation. He slung an arm over the back of his chair, then raised his head. Gonna be a mortician, are you? Yes, sir. So you'll be taking them out of the world while my brother's bringing them into it. He's an obstetrician. Ash hesitated. I could never be a doctor. I can't stomach the blood, and I know I couldn't work around a bunch of dead people. Russell laughed a little, but to Kitty it sounded like he was clearing dust from his throat. You'd get used to it. Mr. Ash is going to be a lawyer, Kitty said. So's Thomas. That's my beau, Betty Jean said, smiling at Ash. He'll be graduating from Merida's law school next year. A knock sounded at the back door, and Kitty left the table to answer it. It was Thomas. After greeting him, she showed him inside. Ash stood as they approached, and Kitty introduced them. Thomas wore an expensive gray nails-head suit. He was about Russell's height, but broader through the shoulders with a thicker build. His features were handsome, and his hair wavy and brown. His light complexion was similar to Betty Jean's. Kitty offered iced tea, but Thomas declined. I think we ought to be leaving, he said. It's getting late. Russell stood up. I think that's a good idea. Why do we need to leave right now? Betty Jean asked. We have plenty of time. I insist, Thomas prodded. We want to get a good table. But, Betty Jean, Thomas said firmly, this is no time to argue. If you say so, Betty Jean relented. I'll need to get our things from Aunt Isola's room. Kitty disappeared down the small hallway and moments later returned with their handbags, hats, shawls, and gloves, plus a shopping bag containing their day clothes. The sisters attired themselves as they prepared to leave. As Thomas and Russell moved toward the door, Ash said, It was nice meeting y'all. They nodded in his direction and grumbled their goodbyes. Escorted by their gentlemen callers, Kitty and Betty Jean wished Mr. Ash a good evening as they departed through the back door. Have fun, Ash said half-heartedly. The door was partially closed for only a few moments before Kitty ran back inside to retrieve 2 fans. Ash's back faced her, and he didn't realize she was there, but Kitty was just in time to see him slam his fist into the plaster wall. Quickly grabbing the fans, she slipped out. Ash had never seen her. He was too preoccupied with the pain. Kitty fanned away, sitting in the back seat of Thomas's large blue Chevrolet. Betty Jean sat next to her while Russell and Thomas sat up front. All remained silent until Thomas said, Working in a white man's kitchen. That's something I'll never allow a daughter of mine to do. Driving to the church, he took his eyes from the road and glanced briefly at the girls in the rearview mirror. The Croths are decent people, Kitty defended them. Well, I wanted to get out of that cracker's house fast, Thomas said. Just what was that white boy doing in the kitchen with a bunch of niggers anyway, spying on y'all? Betty Jean crossed her legs. Mr. Ash is a gentleman. That's right, Kitty said. Mr. Ash, his brother Mr. Heath, and their daddy Mr. Lewis. All 3 of them are gentlemen. And just as sweet as pie, Betty Jean smiled. Not a day goes by, or not a week goes by that Mr. Lewis doesn't give us flowers. Kitty nodded. And they're as respectful as can be. They always say please and thank you. They don't treat us like we're nothing. Russell glanced out the window. We're nothing to all white folks. But not to them, Kitty said. Our daddy didn't want us working in a white man's kitchen either. But Mama's aunt's been working there for years. She's the one that told us Mrs. Croth would pay good money if we worked for her this summer. And Aunt Isola speaks highly of the whole family. She's the one who convinced Daddy that it would be all right for us to work there. And Betty Jean interrupted, Mrs. Croth wants us to do well in school. So does Mr. Croth, Kitty said. He says that the more Negroes get educated, the better off we'll all be. Who knows if that cracker really means what he says? Thomas was skeptical. The best way the white man can keep us down and control us is to keep us ignorant, Russell said. So you don't need to go telling that white boy Ash what we're studying and what we have. Yeah, Thomas smirked. He and his clan buddies might just come around and lynch us. Angered, Kitty said, The Croths don't approve of the Klan. What about old man Croth's political views and all those hate speeches? Russell asked. You do know that he was Governor Torch Bedford's political advisor and speechwriter, don't you? Mr. Lewis didn't really believe all that nasty talk back then, Betty Jean said quietly. Kitty clicked her tongue. It was all just politics. They had to say what the people wanted to hear. Don't be naive about a white man, Thomas scowled. When you're working in his kitchen, there's only one thing on his mind. Russell looked at his cousin and agreed. You might talk about that Mr. Ash being a gentleman, Thomas said, but all he really wants to do is get into your drawers. Kitty and Betty Jean gasped. Maybe he'll talk sweet, but most likely he'll use force. Someone like him just wants to take advantage of you, Russell said. He's strong and rich. He doesn't think you'll be brave enough to fight him off. And if you try to put the law on him, no one will believe you. Your word against his. All those crackers do is degrade our women. Betty Jean fanned rapidly as she gazed out the window. Well, you don't know the Cross like we do. They're decent people. Thomas took a deep breath. No white folks are decent. Russell looked back at Kitty and Betty Jean, draping his arm over the seat. If old man Cross or any of his boys try something, you kick, you scream, you fight. Don't let them think they can get away with touching you. Don't be silly, Russell, Betty Jean said. They're gentlemen. Kitty remained silent. Russell gazed at Kitty. His eyes burned deeply into hers, and she looked away. She felt as if he could read her mind. I'm not being silly, he said. I'm being realistic. And that concludes Chapter 4, and I hope you've enjoyed my reading.